Good evening, race fans. Welcome here to Michigan for tonight's MPEC Napa Auto Parts 160. My name's Robert Hill Jr. Joining me tonight, as always, is Chris Wright. Chris, how you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing tonight, Robert?
Doing good, buddy. It's going to be a good race here tonight. 80 laps, halfway points at the end of lap 35, coming to 36, and 4 sets of tires will be available tonight. We are taking a look at the end of qualifying here on the racetrack. A couple drivers currently on the outside looking in. We're going to be sending 7 home tonight. Those that are actually fully eliminated from the race this evening so far: Kendall Noah Player, Scott Haney, Brent Jones, Connor Thompson, Carlos Acosta, Rory Collins, and David Carpenter. Actually, those will officially be the 7 that will go home tonight. So Player, Haney, Jones, Thompson, Acosta, Collins, and Carpenter all headed home. And so far, it does look like Scott Crump currently on the top of the charts as Tommy Ryan wraps up his lap. Tate Lytle does the same. Jeff Ryan out there, he just finished up as qualifying has ended. So your grid here tonight, Chris, as we take a look at the starting grid. Rolling out from the pole, Scott Crump behind the wheel to number 90 for Lake Norman Motorsports, alongside the 66 of Tommy Ryan for Unacceptable Racing. Tate Lytle and Nick Massey make up row number 2. William White, Matthew Weeks in row 3. Jesse Racimus, Josh Adams, row 4, with Jeff Green and EJ O'Rourke in row 5.
Yeah, and then we got Chad Frankenfield, Leighton Norgard, Gavin Hibbs, Tyler Fody all the way back there in 14th, Ethan Stanley, Ethan Burrell, Trey Eitzen, Jacob Adams, Corey Abbott, and Jay Canor round out the top 20.
Justin Fuller, David Tooker, Ty McIntosh, Hunter Smith, Josh Freed, Tyler Pop, Brandon Ultra, Dustin Dewar, Vincent Isabella, and Gavin Higgs make up the top 30.
Yeah, and then 30th on back, we will finish out with Jeff Ryan, Harrison Talon, Josh Smith, Josh Robin, Michael Hossack, Gerald Campbell, Andrew Hardcastle, Zach Evans, Brandon Key, Seth Rawls, Kyle Hanshaw, Michael Goodman, and Jaden Racimus round out the field here tonight.
And one EOL penalty to be given here on the starting grid will be the 35 of Jeff Ryan, going to go to the rear end of the field for a banner violation. So he is going to have his work cut out for him coming from the tail. But as you can see here, Scott Crump currently sitting there on pit road alongside Tommy Ryan, waiting for their opportunity to hit the racetrack here tonight. And just looking through the field, Chris, some great drivers going to be starting at the front and some really good guys going to be starting at the tail as well. Why don't we go ahead and make some race picks here right off the bat?
Yeah, I don't know I don't know, man. It's going to be a good race, I think. Michigan, last night, for those of you that tuned into our truck race last night, boy, oh boy, was it crazy. We couldn't have picked the top 3 with 5 to go. So I am going to, you know what? People aren't going to like this because I think I've already picked him once this year. But I'm going to pick him again. Nick Massey, I think they're in 4th. He's really good at Michigan. He's really good in this car. I'm going to take Nick Massey there, and I'm going to say he's going to get the checker flag tonight.
Nick Massey, always a solid pick, Chris. We'll see what he can do. But my pick to take the victory tonight, we're going to have to take a little bit of a dive back through the field to position number 12 here this evening. I'm going to go with a guy that was exceptionally quick in practice and now finds himself starting on the outside of row number 6. I'm going to go with a Leighton Norgard here tonight. It's the 12 starting in 12th, looking for victory number 1.
It should be interesting, man. 80 laps here around Michigan. Talking to the drivers there pre-race, too. The fuel window is right at about 40 laps, so if you can get to 40, you can get to the end. They did say there's tire wear that is significant. It's going to get tight, so it will be interesting to see how all that shakes out, because I believe they have 4 sets of tires, 1 on the car, 3 in the pits. So
that is correct, Chris. So 4 on the tires, or 4 on the car, 6 in, or I'm not even...
We got one set on the car, and we got 3 in the pits.
That's exactly it. I'm not mathing here tonight, Chris. Welcome to Michigan once again.
Technically, they're all four tires on the race car right now.
That's exactly correct. As we get set to go green, Scott Crump, Tommy Ryan on the front row, and the green flag is out. We are underway, Chris Wright. Great push by Tate Lytle into the rear end of Scott Crump there. Nick Massey lays back just a little bit on the initial start as the field already looking to battle here for the first spot. It's Ryan up top, Crump there running the middle groove as Lytle looking for an opportunity to get to his inside. As the battle continues down the back straightaway.
Yeah, I'm seeing the outside be pretty solid right here. Might have to use the tires up a little bit more running up there. Crump's going to get loose there in the middle of 3 and 4. Crump leads lap 1 there at the line. But Tommy's right there dead even down into turn number 1. I think Crump's got to fall in here, give it up, unless he wants to race real hard right now. Give it to Tommy off of turn 2 with Scott in line in second. Tate Lytle to third down the backstretch.
As they do battle for the race lead, Ryan Crump. We do have some shuffling of positions back here. Multiple drivers duking it out. You see the 70 of Jesse Racimas up on the high side of the 11 car of Matthew Weeks. Just behind them, you see the 1 of Josh Adams with Jeff Green and Chad Frankenfield there together. Of course, Frankenfield, it is his birthday tonight. So shout out to Chad Frankenfield. Happy 57th birthday to you. Actually, I think it's 31, but close enough. As Tommy Ryan does take over the race lead here, Chris.
Yeah, happy birthday to Chad. Going to try to go out here and get the victory lane here on his birthday at Michigan. I'm surprised they're not, I don't know, Indianapolis today or something here.
That's why we went there last night. It's Ryan Crump, Lytle, White, and Massey, the top 5 here as we come around and enter lap number 4. Long way to go, Chris.
Long way to go. Anything can happen, and as we saw last night, anything will happen. Right now, I'm sure some guys are looking at the fuel, trying to make sure they get to lap 40. If you're somebody who was well aware of the situation, you might have saved under the parade laps there, just trying to make sure that you don't do something and have to pit on 38 or 39, because if you have to pit before lap 40, that's
Chad
really
wide,
gonna hurt the
Chris.
race.
Chad wide. He's to the inside of Josh Adams and Ethan Stanley. I thought he was about to hook Josh Adams as they entered the corner, got to that left rear quarter panel, nearly ended up sending him there, as now Chad on the inside of Gavin Hibbs. Hibbs trying to battle back after a rough evening last night in the Stay Tuned Sports Truck Series, as Chad going to slide up ahead of him here.
Oh, and Chad does a little Houdini there.
Chad is gone on my screen, Chris. He does come back. Almost got to make sure that race control lets him know that he is indeed blinking. But it looks like he's solidified a little bit, so that's a positive.
It would have to be more than one blink there to say something right now. I think race control is going to let it go for right now. How about that Josh Adams machine?
Norgard nearly got together with the 40 of Tyler Fode. Who are we talking about? We're talking about Josh Adams here, Chris. Down 3 spots.
It's so pretty, though. Look how good it looks.
Yeah, pretty, a little slow so far. Down 3, just about to be 4. If it was maybe like Popeyes or KFC powered, I think that thing might be a little bit quicker. But of course, the
I don't know, man. That thing runs on cane sauce, baby.
inferior chicken on board that machine. As we watch a battle a little bit further back, it's Corey Abbott, Brandon Ultra. That's Abbott on the inside. Ultra up top in that 45 machine. He's got Bush on the side of that tonight, so he is repping the beer machines here tonight.
How do you say that? Can you say that again the right way? You don't just say Bush.
Bush Light, I do believe, on board that machine.
It's Bush.
No, it doesn't go shh. It's not a library, it's a beer. Let's take a look at another driver a little bit further back. We're talking about Harrison Talon. He's getting passed now by Josh Smith. That's Smith on his inside. Gonna go by Talon as Corey Abbott and Jeff Ryan continue to battle side by side. You got to remember here, Jeff Ryan was sent to the rear on the start of the race, so he's already up a bunch of spots here, Chris, on the outside of Corey Abbott for position number 27. But let's jump back up to the front real quick. We do have a battle once again for that race lead. It's Tommy Ryan leading the way in the 66 Northern Tool and Equipment Machine with the Stay Tuned Sports podcast and Blue Egg Marketing number 90 machine of Scott Crump. Of course, Blue Egg, the marketing department for small businesses, small business owners. Blue Egg is your biggest fan, and so is Scott Crump as he's looking to take over the race lead here.
Yeah, he's looking to take over the race lead, but back there in the middle of the pack, man, they've been 3 wide for about a whole lap. I don't even know who it is back there at about 30th, but my oh my, they're fanning out when they get to the corner, I'll tell you that.
That is 3 wide. I believe that to be the 45 of Ultra. Once again, rocking the middle lane, the 54 of Hunter Smith just up ahead. Just behind is Jeff Ryan and Ty McIntosh. Now McIntosh about to be 3 wide as Corey Abbott just took a look to the inside, thinks better of it, gets back in line.
New leader, Scott Crump.
As Crump does take over the race lead once again, Tommy Ryan going to fall back. He's got William White right there. White looking for an opportunity to take over that second spot here tonight. William has been, of course, a very strong driver in Elite since he joined Chris. No wins yet.
Ethan Stanley trying to make a move 3 wide.
But he's trying here. Is Chad up top. That is EJ O'Rourke in the middle. Ethan Stanley on the bottom. EJ slides up ahead of Chad Frankenfield. That might not end too well. Chad usually doesn't like vehicles around him on the racetrack. As EJ going to get a little bit of a gap there. Josh Adams gives a bump to Ethan Stanley. Sends him in the corner. Stanley side by side with O'Rourke here through turns 3 and 4. Chad just behind side by side with Josh Adams. That is for position 9, 10, 11, and 12 here
this
on the racetrack.
This is the eye of the storm right here.
There's Jake Adams as well with Gavin Hibbs. Tyler Fody, Leighton Norgard back there as well. Fody, surprised to see him so far back, but you know what? In our elite group chat today, somebody compared him to Matt Kenseth. Not the best qualifier.
Chad's in the wall.
There he is, getting birthday beats. Getting birthday beats right there, Chad Frankenfield in the outside wall. Ethan Burrell now taking a look to the inside. They're going to be 3 wide. That's a tight 3 wide right there, Chris. Justin Fuller.
They're 4 wide back there around Tyler Fody. Wow.
Oh, EJ in the wall, nearly into Chad. Chad into Fuller.
Oh, here we go, boys.
We are setting off here like birthday
4
fireworks.
wide down to turn 1.
This is not going to end well right here. Or maybe it will.
This is all around Tyler Fody. Tyler told me pre-race that he was going to qualify about 15th or 20th. I told him he was lying.
Man, we ain't even watching Fody. Fody's behind the craziness right now.
Ethan Stanley in the wall off of turn 2 right in front of this group.
Stanley going to fall back. That's just going to create more chaos here. So we jump back up to the overhead view. You can see Fuller nearly into the side of Frankenfield there. Gavin Hibbs on the inside. Ethan Burrell going to come up. Fuller right behind Chad. So these battles continuing. A quick look back up front shows Tommy Ryan, William White, and Tate Lytle closing in on the back end of Scott Crump. We'll try to keep an eye on both of these situations here as the race develops. Of course, 13 laps in, plenty of racing still to come here tonight as Crump leads the way, but Tommy Ryan trying to get there. He's looking to take the lead over once again as this battling continues back here. Chad in the Hornet's Nest as the leaders separate just a little bit. We're going to keep our eye back here once again in Action Alley as Ethan Burrell on the inside of a Leighton Norgard. Just behind him, just behind Burrell is where we find Fuller, Frankenfield, Hibbs, Tooker, O'Rourke, Eidson, all of these drivers together. Tyler Fody back here as well. He's having a miserable night. He's 20th right now. That's not where we'd expect Tyler Fody here.
Yeah, it's been a rough start for him. Oh, Fuller, big move there. Or did he get sideways? He might have got sideways because it looks like he's losing momentum. On the inside of 3 wide down here, a lot of these guys are starting to struggle You know, I talked to Scott Crump before the race, and he said they got really tight when the cars made in laps. You know, he said after about 10 laps, they got super tight. And I think we're seeing that here with a lot of guys hitting the wall on the exit of these corners here, pushing right out and hitting that wall. So
battles on for second, side by side. Chris on the high side. It's Ryan on the inside. It's Lytle. Lytle looking to take over position number 2, and you know once he gets there, he's going to have his sights set on Scott Crump out front. The second place battle is actually closing in very quickly on Scott Crump. We'll see if they're able to get there this time and potentially cook something up here, as we're already approaching a quarter of the way through. Lytle clears up ahead of Tommy Ryan. Very tight entry, though, ahead of the Tommy Ryan machine. We'll see if Ryan maybe doesn't like that too much. Maybe some displeasure out of the 66 machine. We'll see what happens here as we quickly jump back once again. This Hornet's Nest continues. It's actually dissipating a little bit as Fody falling back here, Chris.
yeah, Fody's really struggling here. Hey, you know, he told me that he was struggling, and I just didn't believe him. I didn't buy it.
Tate Lytle on the inside of Scott Crump. Sorry for cutting you off there, but we do have a battle for the lead. Once again, it's the days gone by. EPI Toyota for Pro Edge Racing. The 56 of Tate Lytle gonna take the top spot, but Crump gonna battle back here. Those Crump boys, very stubborn, Chris. As you know, of course, a couple of them have made their way through the Elite Racing League, and Scott Crump, very, very hard driver to race against, very strong, and very stubborn.
Fair.
Is there 3 wide here? 3 wide for the race lead. Here comes Tommy Ryan to the inside. Ryan and Crump, a lane and a half, sharing that one on the bottom. Here comes Lytle back on the high side. Ryan gonna back off. Here comes William White and Jesse Bersemus in the top 5. Great drive here so far by Racimus. What a night here as we are side by side still for the race lead. Crump and Lytle up here on the high side. We'll see who wins this battle, as it looks like Crump gonna get the spot off at 2. Very tight.
Just a little slide job right there, huh?
In the words of Dale Jr., slide job. As they nearly come together here, Chris. Yellow flag is out. It involves Chucky.
Yeah, we've wrecked a bunch of cars right here.
Chad Frankenfield just got the birthday bumps that he was not hoping for here tonight. Let's take a look on the replay machine. Looks like Ty McIntosh also involved in this one. Chad Frankenfield. We'll take a look at Frankie and see what happened to him. Oh, so it all kicks off between Frankenfield and Fuller coming off of turn 2. Fuller gets to his outside. Looks like a little bit of netcode there between the two of them. We'll jump up above and see maybe we can get a better angle of this one. That is not a better angle. That's a worse angle. As Frankenfield gets turned by the 55 of Fuller, McIntosh nowhere to go. His car turns into a bit of a modified and actually regenerates right after. So some pretty significant damage to both Frankenfield and McIntosh here in the early going of today's race. We'll wait and see what race control has to say, but unfortunately for Frankenfield, not what he was hoping for on lap number 18. Leaders are coming down. It's Crump, Lytle, Ryan, White. Everybody going to work their way to pit road. We'll see if anyone opts to stay out, maybe towards the rear of the field, but a quarter of the way through this one, I would expect everybody to make their way to pit road, and they do. So as the field comes down pit road for their pit stop, we're going to take our first stop of the day. When we come back, we'll take you through the middle portions of today's race. You're watching the Elite Racing Network, the MPEC Napa Auto Parts 160 of the Rebilas Photography Grand National Series. Don't go anywhere.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And we are back. It's the MPEC Napa Auto Parts 160 here at Michigan. Scott Crump, William White leading the way. Jesse Racines, Tommy Ryan, and Jeff Green round out the top five here. Chad Frankenfield and Ty McIntosh just involved in an incident to bring out this caution. And Ethan Stanley sitting on pit road. We'll try to get word from race control here shortly on what just happened to Ethan Stanley, as it appears that he might be damaged and potentially out of this race. So coming to the green flag this time, you can see Barney the flag man up there on the flag stand, and some other flags out here tonight, the American and Canadian flags standing up. Salute here tonight as we get set to go green. Here they come. It's Scott Crump on the loud pedal once again, and we are back underway. Crump with a great jump now side by side. Jesse Racines and William White. Racines with the advantage, currently over White up there on the high side. We're already looking three wide towards the rear. That is EJ O'Rourke up on the high side. Tyler Fody there in the middle. We're going to jump up to the blimp cam, currently flown by Dave Huckleberry. That's what he does when he's not producing these races. He flies blimps, choppers, drones, just about everything except for lunch to the table. As we see O'Rourke up on the high side, Jake Adams just behind him as we bring back Chris Wright. Chris, what happened to Ethan Stanley there to keep him on pit road?
Yeah, what happened to Ethan Stanley down there was very unfortunate. He did catch a tally for that. He was about to miss his pit box. Same thing we saw last night. Somebody was missing their pit box there. He saw it at the last second, tried to get left, lock it down, and there's a car coming right behind you, so it created a bunch of contact for him. I think it ended his race and a bunch of contact for the 12, and so the 12 got substantial damage from that, so that's why Ethan caught the tally right there.
The 12, of course, a Leighton Norgard back there towards the tail of the field. His car actually looking A-okay, so lucky for him. Not too many issues here so far. Lost a ton of positions, though. Down 24 spots from where he started, and he was running fairly well as O'Rourke continues to bleed out spots here up on the high side. He's going to fall back even further from Josh to Jake Adams now. The Adams family working their way through like it's Wednesday here. Instead, it's cousin Ed, EJ O'Rourke up on the high side. Now he is going to get to the rear end of Josh Adams. Here comes the 13 of Tyler Popp. He's popping off here on the inside lane. Chris Scott Crump leading the way, but William White and Jesse Racines continue to battle side by side for position.
Yeah, the guy that I'm watching right here, Tate Lytle, he saved his tires good on the first run, came on late. You got Tommy Ryan back there, Matthew Weeks making himself known. One guy that's kind of sliding back right here, Nick Massey, is It's falling back. The Lake Norman cars did not bring very good cars to their guys tonight, or all on the 90. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, Lake Norman not having a good night here so far, with the exception of Scrumpy, Scott Crump out front, but he has company now, as that's Jesse Racimus coming up to the rear end of that machine. But William White going to battle back once again on the inside lane, as these drivers don't want to let Scott Crump get away, but also don't seem to want to work together, as White going to take a peek to the inside. He sees White. He's looking for checkers instead, as he's taking a deep dive to the inside, but Jesse Racimus battling back there up on the high side. We're going to look a little bit further back, Chris. Some great action all throughout the field.
Yeah, one car that we haven't mentioned too much yet tonight, and he's kind of creeping his way up into this battle. He started about mid-pack. Trey Eidson in that 77 machine is finding his way here through this pack and trying to get to the front.
Yeah, as soon as you said a driver we haven't talked about that's creeping forward, immediately I saw that 77 up on the charts, currently running in the 8th position. He's side by side for 7th, actually, as that is Ethan Burrell up on his high side. Both of these drivers up about 9 positions each. Eidson actually 10, Burrell 8. But the biggest mover so far in this race is actually Seth Rawls. Started 40th up to 23rd here so far, up 17 spots. Second biggest mover, Tyler Popp, up 16 positions from 26th to position number 10.
And here we go, side by side for second. Once again, William White, Jesse Racimus out here trying to fight to be the first guy that gets to Scott Crump here. And you got to wonder how much Scott is learning from that first run, knowing how good Tate was at the end. Maybe he's running just hard enough to keep the lead at this point.
Yeah, you definitely have to be careful here, Chris. As you know, obviously you don't want to push too hard, but you don't want to push too little as well. As here comes Lytle to the inside. Nothing light about that. He's heavy footing it down into turn 1, as is Racimus, or into turn 3, sorry, as Racimus is as well. He's going to hit that throttle, try to get up there to Scott Crump. Is Lytle going to clear William White, slide up into the middle there? These drivers very tight for position, as White goes back to the inside. It's Tate Lytle. They're side by side for 3rd. But I have to wonder here, Chris, how much is William White tearing through those tires by keeping his car down on the inside lane and trying to battle as hard as he has?
Well, I don't know. I'm not in the car. Some guys can do it, running that offline. Some guys can't. It all depends on the driver. Like, I look at Tate Lytle and Scott Crump, I have no doubt they're saving a little bit of something here.
Just a quick update, Ethan Stanley has rejoined the field as Tate Lytle back on the inside lane here. Let's see what he can do on the inside of Jesse Racimus. He might even go for 2 here, Chris. I think he has a good enough car that if he can, he's going to get up there to Scott Crump and just stomp him. Just drive right by. But now Jesse Racimus showing a bit of muscle here, running very strong in the early goings of today's race. And actually, as I say early goings, we're approaching halfway here already, about 10 laps away from halfway. And I gotta wonder, Chris,
I gotta wonder too, is there a stage point out here?
So there's halfway here. There's points at halfway, but Chad mentioned 35 into 36. I know he's a history teacher, but that math doesn't add up.
Yeah, I believe it's 40 into 41 is where your halfway point is.
I'm going to say 40 into 41 as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Chad. It's your birthday. We'll give you that one, but that math is not mathing, buddy. Looking a little bit further back, Tyler Popp continuing his charge forward, up 18 positions. He's just gotten by 2000 Busch Series champion Jeff Green. No, not Jason Keller. That's Jeff Green on the inside lane, the Busch champion from 2000. As just ahead of him, that is Ethan Burrell, Tommy Ryan, side by side. Matthew Weeks, the Cup Series champion, just ahead of them as well. Tyler Fody back in 13th, so he is starting to go in the right direction here. Chris is meanwhile 2 behind him is a driver that has just hit the parachute. Nick Massey, driving the number 48 tonight. He's down 12 spots on the day. Hopefully his cup car is quicker on Wednesday.
I'm not sure what's going on. This is like Jimmy Johnson in 2020, not Jimmy Johnson in 2010. I don't know what's going on out here with Nick.
Yeah,
He's not running well.
Nick's just not having a good night here tonight. You never know. He could still come alive in the closing stages. We'll try to get a word with him at some point in the race as well. See what the heck's going on. Maybe he has to go to the bathroom or something. I don't know, but just not having a good run back there for Mr. Massey. As Tate Lytle, another driver that's lost some positions here, he has fallen back to 4th spot, just ahead of Matthew Weeks, just behind Billy Blanco, William White, who's currently running in 3rd position. Watch for William to join me tomorrow night once again on the Pit Pass Network ARCA Series race from Charlotte Motor Speedway. That should be another good one.
Yeah, and after tonight, we don't have any racing next week. So these guys ought to have an off week here before
yes, we do. We do race next week, Chris, right?
Are you sure?
Yes, sir. We just don't have you.
I thought everything was off next week.
The only series racing next week, I do believe, is the Grand National Series, and I believe the ARCA Series as well.
Well, I won't be here next week, so it's basically an off week.
It's just a vacation from Chris. That's what's going on, folks. As you see, Jake Adams just ahead of Jeff Green, Tyler Fode, Justin Fuller there as well. Of course, Fuller looking to bounce back from a rather miserable night last night. Was running really well. Ended up getting collected with Vincent Isabella. Those drivers went to the outside wall and eventually the infield care center.
Ooh, nearly contact there mid-pack. I believe that's the 66 and the 13.
13 machine of Tyler Pop and the 66 of Tommy Ryan. I believe that's actually Tommy and Jacob Adams, Chris, right? That are together here as Ryan nearly slides up in front of Jake Adams. They nearly make some contact.
And right behind him,
3
Jeff Green
wide, Tyler Fode, not Tommy Fode. That'd be a cool name, though. Tyler Fode, Jeff Green, Justin Fuller. Tyler, if you ever have kids, Tommy's a good name. Old Tommy Fode.
Gonna make Frank a grandpa? Is that what's gonna happen?
Yeah, we'll make Frank your grandpa here. Frank led some laps last night in the truck race.
Yep, made a lot of passes. Got black flagged in the very front twice.
Twice, yeah. Lane changes twice for Frankie. It's all good. He's still learning. Tate Lytle back to 2nd up here. Chris Wright gets by Jesse Racines. Here comes Matthew Weeks as well. Weeks getting by William White, now getting by Jesse Racines. They've got their sights set on Scott Crump. 4 to go in the stage. It's at 37 as Racines nearly comes down on Matthew Weeks. Nearly contact there between those two drivers. I do briefly want to we'll wait for this battle to end, and then we'll give a shout out to a driver towards the rear of the field.
Well, how about Jesse though, man? Like, he has really picked up his pace this year.
He's having a great race here tonight. He's had a great season so far. Obviously, only a couple rounds into the season, but honestly, I think the Pit Pass Network ARCA Series has done a driver like Jesse wonders. It's helped him gain that confidence that he needs to run up front with these guys, and his racecraft has gotten so much better than what it was when he first started. Jesse Racines is going to be a driver that, now, I'm not going to say he's going to do it this year or this season, but he's going to be a driver to win races in the Elite Racing League. I absolutely believe in him, and I think he can get it done. He's been so strong so far, strong as heck here tonight in 4th position, battling with some of the best that Elite has, and he doesn't look out of place whatsoever, Chris.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say that this is what he has done. But what you realize as you race with these guys, if you ask them for pointers, you ask somebody who, you might not think would want to help you, or you might think, oh, they wouldn't want. Well, all these guys want to make everybody better. Like, you can get in here and ask Tyler, hey, what are you doing? Can you help me out with this?
Maybe don't ask him tonight. Yeah,
tonight's
he's not having a good night.
But, I mean, these guys, we're wrecking on the back. Justin Fuller.
Jeff Green. Oh, Vincent Isabella, Jeff Green, do good, do bad. And we're under caution. This will be halfway, Chris. So Scott Crump, Tate Lytle Matthew Weeks, Jesse Racimus, Ethan Burrell, William White, Trey Idson, Tyler Popp, Tommy Ryan, and Jacob Adams, the top 10 here. So we go back and take a gander. Oh, Jeff just gets the outside wall. Oh, no. Chris, it's mirror of the first incident. Justin Fuller and Jeff Green get together. It was Fuller and Frankenfield earlier. Vincent gets into the back
this is different this time.
Vince gets into the back of Jeff, and that leads to the caution. Wow. So as the field comes down pit road here, I'm going to wait for the drivers to hit their pit box. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to try to talk to one of the drivers in the field. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back here. Let's try to get a word with one of the drivers in the field here tonight. We're going to try to have a word with Andrew Hardcastle, currently running in the 28th position, driving the Tim Hortons 22 here tonight. Let's see what he's got to say. Andrew, it's Robert up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Currently running in position 28. You're up 9 positions on the day. How's that Tim Hortons power feeling under the hood of that 22?
Decent, I guess. It's kind of hard to tell. It's just basically running a train back here at this point. Like, there's not a whole lot of movement. It's pretty rough.
Now, obviously, probably not where you want to be running so far back there in the tail of the top 30, but what's your outlook for the rest of this race? Do you think you can get up there and maybe battle for a top 15?
I hope so. It's again, just the way this is racing is really hard to make a lot of moves without really killing your tires in the process. So I'm just trying to take care of it as best I can. It's rough back here.
Well, best of luck to you. Before we let you go, any shout-outs you want to give real quick before the restart?
Just the Abbott group for the most part. We're working pretty well together. Been running with a Leighton back here since he had his trouble on pit road. So it's been enjoyable. That's pretty much it.
All right, best of luck, buddy. Have a good restart here.
Thanks.
Andrew Hardcastle currently running towards the tail of the top 30. Chris, are you back with us, my friend?
I am here.
Why don't you walk us through what just happened on that last caution? Any tallies given?
Yeah, we gave a tally to the 55 with Justin Fuller there. He hit the wall, came off the wall, and yeah, there was a little net code, but he came off the wall pretty far. I think there was going to be contact. If there was no net code, there was going to be contact at some point right there, the way he came off that wall. So that's why he caught that tally and not the first tally.
A very understandable decision there by our very great race control tonight. Matthew Weeks, your leader on this restart. He's got his Pro Edge teammates Tate Lytle, Ethan Burrell just behind him. They're going to get by. Scott Crump is the curse of the Lake Norman machines coming back alive here.
Oh, we're wrecking here on the
Smith.
backstretch. Hunter Smith.
Oh,
Caution is out.
Hunter Smith has hunted the inside wall. Let's take a look and see what just happened to the 54 machine for this latest yellow. Oh, well, I think that one's pretty easy, actually, Chris.
I haven't had a chance to look at it.
Looks like he just comes right up the racetrack into the 41 machine of EJ O'Rourke, slaps off the side of that down into the inside wall, and that is going to bring out the caution.
Yep, that's what I'm going to agree with there too. I think Hunter got up there.
Cut and dry on that one.
Yep.
So let's take a run through the field while Chris sorts out his administrative work here tonight. Matthew Weeks, your leader, started 6th here tonight, up to position number 1. Ethan Burrell started 16th. He's up to 2nd. Tate running exactly where he started here tonight. Scott Crump started on the pole, now back to 4th. Tommy Ryan started in position number 2. He's back to 5th. As they run out here on the racetrack, Trey Eidson started 17th. He's up to 6th. William White started in the 5th spot. He's back to 7th. Jesse Racimus down 1 spot to 8th. Jake Adams up 9 spots to position number 9 here tonight. And Tyler Popp up 16 positions to the 10th spot. Just behind him, you see the rest of the field rolling on by. Well, Chris, that was a quick little look through the field as they run. Let's see if we can get a word potentially with another driver. Lights are still on the pace car. We'll try to make it a quick word. Let's see who might be available here. Let's talk to Tyler Fody real quick. Hey, Tyler, it's Robert up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, man, this sucks. I'll go ahead and answer your question.
Yeah, what's going on with the horsepower here tonight? Did Lake Norman bring the wrong package, or what's going on?
No, Scott's got the right thing going. Dude, it's track position. I mean, I cannot go anywhere, and I've seen everyone around me this entire race still here 40 laps in. Like, no one's going anywhere.
What was
We're
it
just
like
done.
back there when you guys were 4 wide in that first run?
Yeah, it's tricky because you can run the whole track, and then on exit it kind of narrows up, and sometimes guys aren't paying attention on who's inside and out, but we're trying to get through it right now.
Yeah, you're further forward than you have been. You think you got something for this here later in this race?
Yeah, if I can get some spots here, we're going to have to be more aggressive this time. I've just been too patient.
Well, Tyler, before we let you go, let's give you the floor to make some shout-outs, because as of right now, I don't know that we're going to get to talk to you at the end of this one, but hopefully we do.
Yeah, well, shout out Scott here, doing the Lord's work for the team. Hopefully we can get up there and help him out here.
Well, best of luck to you, Tyler, and like I said, hopefully we get to talk to you at the end of this one.
That would be awesome.
All right, good luck, buddy.
Man, you went from hopefully we get to talk to you there at the end to in the middle of the interview. You said, oh, we're probably not going to get to talk to you based on everything's going on. Man,
you gotta be nice.
went from a burn to trying to put a cool towel on or something, trying to pull it off.
You gotta be nice. That's our that's our ally in the Cup Series, man. You gotta be nice
Not
to those
anymore.
boys. Matthew Weeks on the front row with Ethan Burrell. They're going to get going green here. This is a terrible camera angle. We're going to go green this time. Weeks on the loud pedal. Shout out to the folks at MPEC Napa for supporting us here tonight once again in the Elite Racing League as well. Worldwide Technology Raceway, you heard from them. Blue Wing Marketing, the marketing department for small businesses. And of course, Rebilas Photography, RebilasPhoto.com for all your photography needs. Here comes Tate Lytle. Take a picture of that one as he's worked his way up to position number 2. Somebody dropped down here. That's Jake Connor. As Tyler Fody all over the rear end of Josh Adams here. Nick Massey there as well. So this battle continuing. The paddle up front also continuing. Tate Lytle looking to get the lead.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what we had for strategy because a lot was going on under those cautions. I couldn't really pay much attention to the strategy. But if you have gotten tires on all the cautions, which I talked to some drivers who have there,
strategy was come down every caution, you're good to go.
Yeah, there's one set left for these boys for the last 30 laps, 32 laps. So you're only going to get to pit one more time for tires.
Josh Robin came down pit road just off of that restart as well. Not sure, maybe he picked up a penalty of sorts as we watch William White, David Tooker battle for the final spot inside the top 10. Matthew Weeks continues to lead as Lytle going to go side by side with Burrell. I believe Crump might have just nicked the outside wall. He has a bunch of company there. Tommy Ryan, Trey Eidson. Here comes Tyler Pop, Jesse Racimus, and others as Ryan dives to the inside of Lytle. Falls back now to the inside of Burrell. So Pro Edge, they have a handful.
Yeah, they're 3 wide back here.
Dealing here with
Jesse
Ryan.
Jesse in the middle.
Jesse Racimus in the middle, like you mentioned. That's not Monkey in the middle. It's Jesse in the middle back here. That's Gavin Hibbs up top. William White on the inside. Billy Blanco trying to battle back. He was 5th. He was actually out towards the front. Now all the way back towards the tail of the top 10. He's in the 10th spot. About to get passed there by David Tooker. As we quickly glance back up front, Tate Lytle trying to close the gap on his teammate once again. They're also trying to hold off Tommy Ryan as he's falling back. Gavin Higgins, the other Gavin, side by side with Corey Abbott. He's going to fall off now. As we jump back up to this battle. Looks like everyone back to double file. I say that EJ O'Rourke back up top. There he comes on the outside of Josh Adams and William White. 30 laps to go. Chris Wright, Josh Adams still in the middle. That's White on the inside and O'Rourke up top. Now it's going to be Hibbs up top. Jacob Adams sliding through the middle. That's going to be really tight as they come off of turn 2. Tooker on the bottom. Hibbs on the high side and Jake Adams up through the middle here as they're going to get that sorted out. Adams into the back of Hibbs. Nearly contact between those drivers. O'Rourke taking a peek. We're going to go 4 wide.
I think it's just 3.
It was about to go 4 wide there, Christopher.
And all of a sudden, we got a big cloud cover here. Can't hardly see these cars down the front stretch.
We're taking a nap. Here we go. Nap time. Oh, Jake Adams.
Oh, and they're wrecking behind him big time.
Jake Adams.
Oh, Harry.
A Leighton Norgard, Jacob Adams, Harry Talon. A Leighton done for the day. Josh Freed, I believe, has been freed from this race as well. Let's see what just happened. It all starts around the 52 of Jacob Adams. He might have some help. He's on the inside of Gavin Hibbs. I think Jake comes up, Chris, in front of that 95, then down across the 41 of EJ O'Rourke. He's going to slide up a little bit here. Looks like Gerald actually going to come up into the Leighton Norgard machine. This might be what actually kicks off the yellow. Let's watch. Yellow comes out when Jake Adams comes back up, but Gerald reacts to Jake coming back up the racetrack and just turns up into a Leighton Norgard, Corey Abbott, Josh Smith all those drivers pile in to Gerald reacting to that incident. So unfortunate for Abbott Motorsports, multiple Abbott cars just involved in that one right there. We'll see if Corey Abbott's car still able to compete here. I believe he's got some pretty significant front end damage on that machine. He's going to go pit side. Jake Connor going to go pit side as well. Josh Freed, Gerald Campbell, Harry Talon, Ty McIntosh,
I do have a
Frankville,
question.
and more. Yeah.
So the 52 got the tally there. How did Harry get in that, being like the last car in line?
Let's take a look once again. Let me get that rewinded another time. I don't even know how Harry got a piece of it. Let's see. Are we sure that he got a piece of it?
Yes.
So the wreck happens way up ahead. You can see them wrecking. He gets off the gas pedal. Ooh, and he just drives right into a stop Jacob Adams machine. He does hit the brakes. We're going to back this up and go on board with Harry Talon. So you can hear him hit the brakes. He sees the smoke, and Jake Adams' car kind of just appears at the last second, right as he drives into him, appears out of the smoke. Harry darts the wheel all the way to the right, just not able to make it work as he's in the process of slowing down on the brakes, and just right into the Jacob Adams machine there. So just unfortunate for Harry. I know he's going to hear about it, but I don't think there was anything he really could have done right there, Chris. Let's see who else we can talk to. Is there anybody that's moving up?
Did anybody pit here?
A lot of guys pit towards the tail of the field. The top driver to pit was Jake Connor from around the 15th position. I wish Jesse Racimus was around. I would have loved to talk to him here, Chris, with the run he's having tonight. Up in that 6th spot, unfortunately not available for communications here this evening. So won't have a chance to talk to him. Lights are off on the pace car though, so we are getting set to go green once again. Drivers currently out of this race: Ethan Stanley, Justin Fuller, and Hunter Smith. Looks like Josh Robin also out of this one. Leighton Norgard, Jake Adams, Corey Abbott, Harrison Talon, all on pit road. Harry just exiting now. And Chris Wright, here we go, getting ready to go green once again. Matthew Weeks, Tate Lytle, the front row, Ethan Burrell, Tommy Ryan, Scott Crump, the rest of the top 5 as we are green once again. Side by side for second, it's Ethan Burrell on the inside, Tate Lytle up top here. Of course, Matthew Weeks, Chris Wright. This is the site of his first victory in this particular series, so looking to get it done once again tonight. Of course, multi-time elite champion Matthew Weeks knows how to get it done just about everywhere, but Michigan always going to hold a special place in his heart as he looks to do it once again. But Tate Lytle looks to say, no, you're not, as he dives to the inside. Here comes Lytle. Here comes Burrell as well, as they're taking a look to the inside. Yeah, Pro Edge absolutely alive here as Lake Norman. They're just sprinkling a little bit of crump up there. But other than that, their best driver, aside from Scott Crump right now, is Tyler Fode in 15th position. So not a good night here for Lake Norman.
Yeah, not a good night at all. Not a typical night at all either, as Weeks is going to try to slide up in front of Tate. Can't quite do it.
This is getting hairy right here. Not Harry Talon, just Harry in general. As they are side by side for the lead. That's Weeks on the bottom. Lytle up top. Burrell just behind. Here comes Crump to the inside of Burrell. He's trying to get back in this battle. Tommy Ryan just behind him. And Tyler pop up 20 positions. Currently there in position number 6. He's looking to get up here as well.
We'll have to see what Scott's got for these guys as we are coming around. We're approaching 20 to go.
21 next time by 22. Currently here, it's Tate Lytle, Ethan Burrell, and Matthew Weeks side by side for position number 2. That's the RaceCPI.com 37 machine of Burrell up top. The JV Designs number 11 of Matthew Weeks on the inside. Of course, head to 213simware.com to find all of his apparel. Purchase some Matthew Weeks merch. Let him know that we sent you.
You getting a cut of that if they let you know that it was you?
Absolutely not.
All right, now Scott Crump's trying to get a cut of the Pro Edge here. He wants the whole pie. He's got one piece, 2 to go.
He's got one. He's got 2 pieces because Tooker is up there in the top 10 as well. Someone just blew their engine. Not sure who that was. Probably somebody on pit road. Maybe Corey Abbott having a barbecue down there. As you see, Lytle and Burrell battling it out for the lead. We're going to come to 20 to go this time by Tate Lytle, your leader. They're bump drafting like it's Daytona.
Trying to get away from Crump. Right now, the Weeks is hung on the bottom. That's going to be tough. Gavin Hibbs trying to make a move back there on the bottom of 3 wide. Not able to do it. He's going to lose momentum here. We'll see if he can slide up in front of Josh. Might have a quick nope. Josh is going to get up there too. So he tried to make a pass there, and he's going to lose 2, maybe 3 spots for his trouble.
Watching these guys, everyone trying to find their positions here in the late going of today's event. Chad Frankenfield battling back on the high side. He was just Chad wide, now back to 2 wide as he is bump drafting Gavin Higgins down the straightaway towards turn number 1. That is for position number 17. So the aggression out no matter what position, as Frankenfield trying to get some points here early in the season to recover from what was a very disappointing start to tonight's race. But Lytle leads the way. Burrell, look to the inside, look to the outside. Now going to look at the bumper and stay just behind Tate Lytle as he's got Scott Crump and Tommy Ryan breathing down his neck. So those drivers able to make quick work of Matthew Weeks. Weeks now back to 6th. Pops into the top 5 for, I believe, the first time tonight in position number 5. Started 26th up to position number 5. So great drive by the driver of the 13. Biggest mover, though, so far finds himself in 14th. It's Seth Rawls. He started 40th this evening, actually now up to 13th. So 27 spots gained for Seth Rawls here tonight as he's trying to get into the top 5 in that number 25 machine.
Yeah, and it's going to be very interesting how this all shakes out. I think we're at the point now, if we get a caution, everybody's probably going to come get their last set. Do you take 2? Do you take 4? Some guys, I believe, used their last set on the last caution. They'll probably stay out.
It's going to be interesting. There's going to be pit strategy coming into play. I would expect drivers such as Chad Frankenfield to potentially stay out here. Maybe Tyler Fode, maybe Nick Massey. Guys that are typically strong drivers, just not having the best night tonight when it comes to track position, potentially taking advantage of some strategy, stay up at the front, and if you lose some spots, you're probably not going to lose as much as you were already. So we'll see what happens here. But side by side for third, it's Scott Crump on the inside, Tommy Ryan up on the high side, Tyler Pop all over their rear end. He's going to try to get up in this fight as well, as he's trying to hold off Matthew Weeks just behind him. Top two single filed out. We'll watch the battle here for third through sixth, really, as it's Ryan, Crump, Pop, and Weeks there together. Just off in the distance behind, you see Josh Adams cooking and booking the high side. We'll see if he's able to get there as Tooker gets by Gavin Hibbs.
And what happened to Scott there? Is he trying to make a pass for second? And he is backing up on the bottom.
Scott may have cooked just a little bit too hard on the inside, but Crump still side by side with Tommy Ryan. Ryan up there up against the outside wall as he nearly comes down into the side of Scott Crump. Jacob Adams rejoins the field. He's going to be numerous laps down after an 11-minute stay on pit road. He's back in 38th position as we continue to monitor this battle for third. Scott Crump takes a very deep entry into turns number 1 and 2. He's going to clear Tommy Ryan this time. Tried to get up to Ethan Burrell. Ryan into the outside wall. Now he not going to be too pleased with Scott Crump. He's going to get back to the rear bumper of Crump as here comes Weeks to the inside of Tyler Pop. A little bit further back, Tyler Fody now into the top 10. Works his way up to that 10th spot. He's trying to get back up there as actually now he's going to lose a few spots 3 wide. It's Gavin Hibbs on his outside. Josh Adams up along that outside wall as well, as it only looks like Tyler Pop, the driver, trying to duke it out for position up here in that top 6 as Massey continues to bleed out positions. Frankenfield going to get by him. O'Rourke going to get by him as well. Move Nick Massey back to 17th now as Tate Lytle continues to lead over Ethan Burrell. Come to 13 to go this time, Chris Wright.
Yeah, 13 to go. Lots of strategy left to play out here. We'll see how it shakes out. Should be interesting here.
Brandon Key heads pit side from position 31. I don't think that was his choice. Let's take a look and see what just happened to him as he wrecks onto pit road. He gets down, hooks the yellow line. No, it does look like he was coming to pit road, just came too fast. Locks down the brakes, hammers the inside wall. That's going to be the end of the night for the 41 of Brandon Key. The key to victory tonight, do not hit the inside pit wall. As Tate Lytle, Ethan Burrell, and Scott Crump battle it out for the top 3 positions. A little bit further back, Josh Adams, Trey Eidson going to be side by side as Adams able to clear Eidson. Now Tooker looks to the inside of Eidson as well. That's side by side for 9th. Eidson has the top spot. Tooker on the inside. That's Tyler Fody just behind them. He's currently in position number 11, just ahead of Seth Rawls, who's nearly up 30 spots on the day, 28 to be exact. He started 40th, now up to 12th, as Vincent Isabella, one of the lap cars, gonna send it up on the high side. We'll see what he can do. Probably not much, because he is currently a lap behind the leader, so he is just trying to get up there, make sure that he gets the lucky dog as he nearly makes contact with Seth Rawls. We're going to file through the field, see where our closest battles are. Again, that's Vincent Isabella, the lap car, going around Tyler Fody. Oh, as he hits Tooker! Isabella into the back of David Tooker, nearly taking out one of the top 10 cars here. Now Fody going to get to the inside of David Tooker. They're going to battle it out for that 9th position as we are 10 laps to go this time by Tate Lytle, Ethan Burrell, Scott Crump, Matthew Weeks, and Tommy Ryan, the top 5.
Yeah, and I am back with you. I had to make a ruling there. 56, Tate Lytle looking pretty good here with 10 to go. But as we saw last night, a lot can happen here in the final 10 laps of a race.
A lot can definitely happen here as you see David Tooker, Tyler Fody side by side for 9th. Vincent Isabella, of course, just had contact with David Tooker a lap or so ago. That got a little sketchy for the number 19 GoPro machine. Of course, GoPros love action, but maybe not that much at this point in the race, as it is, of course, Lytle, Burrell, and Crump, the top 3 weeks, trying to battle back to the inside of Scott Crump. We'll see if he's able to get there on this particular lap, as we're coming around to 8 to go this time by. These drivers trying to get it done. Jeff Green heads pit side in the number 2 machine. Looks like he is going to come down, maybe call it a day, as he's going to be at the tail of that lead lap this time.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see Jeff pit under green here. Looks like he's got pretty severe damage. Not sure what happened.
Might have slapped the wall, Chris, right? Oh, contact here. Tucker and Fody, very tight battle for that 9th spot. Vincent Isabella did just get by them. Now it's just mano a mano here. Just ahead is Josh Adams and Jesse Racimus battling very tight. That's Adams up on the high side, Racimus on the inside. Just ahead of them, Tyler Popp taking a look to the inside of Tommy Ryan. And just ahead of them, Matthew Weeks taking a look to the inside of Scott Crump as we come to 7 to go this time.
Just 7 to go. Tate Lytle, Ethan Burrell, Scott Crump, Matthew Weeks, kind of separated from everybody else.
A little bit of separation as Ultra gonna fall back. Actually, he's gonna continue side by side with Goody towards the outside of the top 20 as we watch Seth Rawls and Chad Frankenfield side by side. Contact right there, Rawls and Frankenfield, as we continue to monitor the battles inside the top 10. That's Tyler Popp looking again to the inside of Tommy Ryan. 6 to go this time by for Tate Lytle.
Tucker and Fody still going at it for that spot. Who would have thought that they'd have been racing this hard against each other and it'd be for 9th place?
Not me, not you, not nobody here at Michigan tonight. As we continue to monitor this battle, there's a big battle up here. That is Tyler Popp and Josh Adams again for position. Popp clears into that 6th spot as Weeks trying to close the gap here on Scott Crump. You know that he wants a sweep of the podium tonight here for Pro Edge Racing. 5 to go this time. Barney the Flagman, 5 fingers in the air. Here we go. Is it going to be Lytle? Is it going to be Burrell, Crump, Weeks, or Ryan? Or are we potentially going to get another caution that could shake things up here, Chris?
Well, that potential is always out there. Especially if these guys are running on the longest run of the night. The tires are as worn as they've been all night. Guys are losing the nose, and they're racing harder than they've been all night, trying to get every spot they can get.
That's exactly it. As we continue to look through the field, we're watching all the battles that we have here on the racetrack. These drivers, like you mentioned, trying to find every single position. 4 to go this time by. Closest battle, I believe, is Tyler Popp and Josh Adams up here in the top 10. Actually, no, that would be Tucker and Fody, of course. These
Jeff
boys
Green's
putting on a
loaded up,
show.
headed back to the house.
Jeff Green sending it back to the house, like you mentioned. Done for the night for the 2000 Busch Series champion, Jeff Green. We'll see if the trend continues, though, Chris. Will we get a late race caution? You know the driver's absolutely frustrated with those late race yellows.
Well, it
3
depends
to
on
go.
who you are. If you're
I mean,
Tate,
if
if you're Ethan, you're probably like, hey, you know what, we're good with this.
As Harrison Talon rejoins the field.
You think that's going to have something to do with the late race caution? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I just see him rejoining the fields. I don't think that'll lead to anything. Oh, Vincent Isabella just had a little kiss with the outside wall.
He's currently in the lucky dog, so he's one that wants the late race yellow.
He does indeed want that late race yellow. We'll see if we get one. 2 to go this time by Barney the Flagman. Popsicle sticks in the air. Next flag, if we get a white flag, means that we will race it out to the checkers. If it's yellow, then we will enter overtime here tonight, presented by Napa.
Heading down the backstretch for one last time. Well, sorry, still 2 to go. Look at that.
The days gone by. RaceEPI.com. Norse Force machine of Tate Lytle gonna come around and face the white flag this time by. He's had a heck of a show here tonight. Started third, up to first as the white flag is displayed. This race is
the battle for
official.
second.
As here we come. Burrell and Crump side by side. Who's gonna get it here? As Crump takes advantage of Burrell, he's going to slide up to the high side. Burrell going to look to battle back on the inside. Here we come down the back straightaway for the final time here, Chris. It's Lytle out front. He doesn't have to worry about those guys behind him. Burrell going to do whatever he can to get there. We'll see what they can do. Very tight battle. Burrell on the inside. Crump up on the high side. Here they come off of 4 for the final time to the line. It's Tate Lytle, the victor.
make
Contact. Is Burrell going to get it? Is it going to be Weeks? It's Weeks at the line for third. Lytle, Crump, Weeks, Burrell, and Tyler Popp, your top 5. Tommy Ryan, Josh Adams, Jesse Racimus, Tyler Fody, and David Tooker round out the top 5. Pro Edge, Norman, Pro Edge, your top 3, followed by Pro Edge and Leatherneck, rounding out the top 5. We'll be right back. We're going to take one final commercial break as we work to get our field gathered up for some post-race interviews. Don't go anywhere. This is the MPEC Napa 160 on the Elite Racing Network.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And we are back here. It's the MPEC Napa 160 here on the Elite Racing Network. Just finished up this one with Tate Lytle, the winner ahead of Scott Crump and Matthew Weeks. And we're going to go ahead and talk to our third place finisher here, Matthew Weeks, in just a moment. Matthew, it's Robert up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Strong run for you here tonight. Came home third. Obviously, Michigan, a very strong track for you. How do you feel after that one? And what more did you need to get up there and get that win?
I mean, I feel good. I mean, it was a good points day, but I'll rather win here, man. You know, I love this track, love racing here. I don't know if I had the outright pace for Tate. I know during the long runs, the 20-lap runs we had, we were like literally even on our right side tires pretty much. So it was going to be a struggle if it went green all the way. So I probably should have kept the clean air. I was trying to back up early in that last run and save a little bit, but I should have just stayed up there and kept the clean air.
Obviously, a nice bounce back after a 24th place finish last week at Daytona. Looking ahead on the schedule, we're going to Zandvoort next week. How do you feel about that one? Have you ever run any laps there?
Nope, and I won't be racing because I'm not behind the track, so I won't be here next week. But the following week I'll be here.
All right.
Oh wait, that's off week I think, so I'll be a while.
The following week is an off week, then we go to Pocono. So looking ahead to Pocono, the next round that you join us, how do you feel about that one? Do you think you can get the win?
I feel like I can contend. That's another one of my tracks that I know people don't like, but I enjoy racing because it's a little tricky on every corner. So I enjoy it. So hopefully we can contend for it.
Well, that's definitely the goal every time out there on the racetrack. Matthew, before we let you go, any sponsors you want to thank, shout-outs you want to give for putting that number 11 on the racetrack?
Justin Vandermeer with the JV Designs, man. He paints my schemes. He sponsors this car. Huge shout out to him. All the Pro Edge guys, we ran good tonight. I think Tucker finished top 11 or something. I don't remember. I really didn't look at top 10. So we all had strong runs tonight. Shout out to Tate for winning the race, man. He was stout. Ethan had a good run. All the fueled up guys that were watching that don't race on Monday nights anymore. Everyone else that watches. You guys in the booth. Betty over at Ethan's, I know she enjoys watching us race and us win like this. Us as a team run really well, so that's about it.
Well, congratulations on the podium finish, and we look forward to seeing you in a few weeks at Pocono.
All right, man. Catch you later.
Chris, that was Matthew Weeks, our third place finisher here tonight. Now you're standing by with our runner-up, Scott Crump.
Hey, Scott, you had a good run all night tonight. The only Lake Norman car to do so. Take us through your night, and how tough was it to keep the lead? And then once you got back there to about third or fourth, how hard was it to make a pass to get back up there?
Yeah, kind of lost the lead right there due to a pit stop. I don't know how Weeks pulled that off. He jumped 2 spots in 1 pit stop. That was pretty crazy. I don't think I've really seen that much before. But yeah, that definitely hurt my night right there because it was all Pro Edge up there, so they were all working together. So it was definitely hard after that. I was trying to ride behind them and just take it easy and just take care of my stuff. And then people behind me were trying to be aggressive, attack me low side, high side. It just got chaotic there about 4th or 5th position. And I just try to work my way. I started being more aggressive and started making passes and trying to break up those Pro Edge guys and started working. And I found a little bit there at the end that was working. Wish I would have done that a couple of laps earlier, throwing that move on Ethan. And definitely had a nice hot rod tonight. Tate was fast too in the long runs, but that lead was crucial because you're able to control, protect your tires, and control who's behind you by using the draft.
Well, all right, Scott, it's a pretty solid start to the season for you. What's your outlook here for the rest of the season? Where do you look at, what do you got circled coming up here where you think you can put that 90 machine in victory lane?
I don't know. We got second Daytona, second here, so hopefully we can get a first coming up. I'm not even sure what we got next. I think it's a road course.
Yeah, I think we got a road course coming up here somewhere soon. Getting ready to have an off week here for a lot of guys. I was told that there's still a race here in this series next week, so should be interesting to see what happens moving forward here. Are there any sponsors you want to thank, shout out you want to give before we let you go and celebrate that podium? Maybe help out your teammates a little bit. You know, they were really struggling to run in the top 10 tonight.
Yeah, I wish they were up there getting me a little help with the Pro Edge guys because they were definitely working together. Give a shout out to Stay Tuned Sports Podcast on the hood and Blue Egg Marketing on the side. And shout out to y'all up on the booth. Y'all do a heck of a job. Shout out to my family watching, grandfather, aunt, brother, wife, watches. Again, shout out to my team, Lake Norman. They didn't do so hot tonight. I'm not sure. They just had trouble passing coming through the field, and I think Ethan got in trouble. And Fody ended up somewhere in the top 10. So hopefully we can get a little more guys up in the front and come away with some wins here coming up.
All right, Scott, congrats on the run. Look forward to finding your way to victory lane here and seeing you race for this championship down the stretch.
All right, thank you.
Scott Crump, your runner-up here tonight. And finally, the man of the hour, Tate Lytle. Tate, is Robert in the booth? You get a copy?
I do.
You got to win here tonight. Great race by you. Why don't you walk us through that one, and how'd you get it done here tonight?
It was, I don't know, it was a decent start for us. Started third. Didn't get much practice time in, got home a little late, but ran up top 5 or so that first couple runs and had a couple looks at Crump on the lead before caution would come out. And then I was probably lost 7 spots on pit road tonight. Kept sliding my box, which is not what you want to do, until the last one, and able to get around weeks there with 20 some to go. And I don't know, it was just about managing the tires at that point, trying to manage the gap, because I knew if they got locked on bumpers, it might be a little tougher for us. But glad we're able to hold on, saved our tires pretty well. And I've always liked these 2-mile tracks, so always happy when we can come to them, and got another win, thankfully.
Obviously, last week you were not able to make it to Daytona, so unfortunately for you, you lose out on that drop week. Makes your season a little bit tougher when it comes to working towards the playoffs. Obviously, the win tonight does help, but looking ahead to next week, we're going to head to Zandvoort, the road course. How do you feel about that one?
I mean, I doubt I'm talking to you at the end of it next week, but I bet hopefully anywhere from 3rd to 7th would be good. I think we'll be decent. I mean, obviously it's a way different car, but I've ran quite a few laps at that track in a Formula One car on the F1 game back in the day, so I have a decent understanding of what the track's like. Obviously, I've never driven a stock car on it, but I mean, I'm sure you'll see if RC and Tooker and those guys show up, we'll be 3rd at best, or I guess Ethan Stanley too, so make that 4th at best if all the ringers show up. But if we can end up top 5, would be really good. I'll be fine with the top 10, but the schedule looks pretty ideal for us. I got Pocono and coming up after that, and then I don't really see a bad track for us until Daytona. So got the 2008 Phoenix, the vintage Phoenix Raceway, and that's one of my favorites of all time too. So I don't know, it's a pretty stacked field. I mean, you look at it, the top 10 guys are all pretty good, and given the right circumstances, you could probably even throw another 7 or 8 guys that could potentially win each week. So gotta do it when it counts, but winning never hurts anything, and it's good to do it this early in the season. But gotta shout out Brent Wednesday has gone by. Glad we could get him in victory lane again. Shout out to my dad if he's still listening, and my poor brother and sister and stepmom that are also probably still listening, unfortunately for them. But yeah, good to be back in victory lane.
Well, good to see you back here in victory lane. Congratulations on the win tonight, and we'll see you next week at Zandvoort.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
That was Tate Lytle. He kind of took over and led the interview there at the end, Chris, but we'll always give the mic and the floor to Tate Lytle, especially after a great win like this one tonight. But final thoughts from you, my friend, before we head off here and head over. Well, actually, you're not heading to Zandvoort. You're heading down to the real Daytona Beach to go to the Daytona International Speedway, and we're going to head to Zandvoort, and I think Zach Evans is going to join me for that one.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I can't say for sure if I'll be watching. We'll be traveling. We'll be doing some other things.
You better be
have
watching.
A little vacation. Hey, you know what? We might be somewhere else, you know. You never know. It's going to be a great fun week, though, for me heading to Speed Weeks. But tonight's race, man, what a race. I hate to see the lack of ability to pass. Like, I'm going to be straight up honest. I'm not just going to say it was a great race, because it was Michigan. Michigan's typically a great track. But tonight, with the tire fall off and everything, I was expecting to see a little bit more passing at the end of the run, but these guys really struggled to get out and make moves. So that's something maybe next time we come, and maybe that'll be a little different. It does scare me looking at places like Pocono. Like Tate was talking about how looking forward to Pocono. Pocono and Michigan are a lot alike, so I hope that we have a little bit more passing at Pocono, a little bit more ability to do something at Pocono. But nonetheless, it was a great race. At the end, got to see a long green flag run. It ended there. We finally saw some decent racing at the end of that long run. Who saved their stuff, who didn't, could see a little bit better of ability to pass. So great race there tonight. Great win for Tate. Great recovery after last night. He was pretty frustrated, running top 3 and had an incident. And didn't get the finish he thought he deserved. So great recovery for him. That's the true show of a champion, right? You got a guy who has a terrible night, maybe worst night of the season, and then the next night he redeems himself with the win. Great night for Pro Edge altogether. You know, you had Ethan just miss out on the podium there, and you had Tate on the podium there, and great battle though, man. Great race there at the end. Hopefully, looks like these guys are going to take it to Tyler Fody this season. Tyler's struggling, just hanging on the back of the top 10.
Fody's definitely going to bounce back. That's what makes a champion, a driver that can fight through adversity, bounce back after miserable nights and weeks and whatnot. And now, obviously, not a great round here, round number 2 for Fody. Still finished 9th, but for him, we always expect to see him on the podium. He's one of the strongest drivers in Elite, and we'll see what happens. But Tate Lytle, like you mentioned, able to bounce back after what was a really strong night last night that just unfortunately went south for him. Contact with a lap truck ended up ending his evening. But Lytle, Crump, Weeks, Burrell, shout out to Tyler Popp as well here tonight, Chris. 5th place. I think that's his best finish outside of the ARCA series. Up 21 spots in a race that passing was really tough to do. So shout out to him, able to get that done tonight, finishing 5th. Tommy Ryan, Josh Adams, Jesse Racimus, Tyler Fody, David Tooker up there in the top 10 as well. And hell, shout out to Chad Frankenfield. Bounced back after being in a wreck early. Birthday boy, finished 12th here tonight. Shout out to him. Happy birthday, Chad. And we look forward to seeing what everyone can do Wednesday night in the Cup Series. I don't even remember what racetrack we're at. I think we're at Homestead. That should be a good show with Gerald Campbell, David Westergreen, Dave Huckleberry, and everyone else that makes the Cup Series happen. But on behalf of Chris Wright, Dave Huckleberry, Chad Frankenfield, all the admins, my name's Robert Hill Jr. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we will see you next week at Zandvoort. And actually, hold on. We'll see you tomorrow night in the ARCA Series at Charlotte. Same time, different place. Be here. See you then. Bye.